This is Indie Attack with more stuff for you. I am Woody,
I am Kelson.
and today we're coming at you with another Daniel Lin Sen game. This one is known as FFFFFF,
Yes.
and this was made for Flappy Jam. And this is pretty clearly this Flappy Bird plus VVVVVVV.
Mm-hmm.
I hope that's the right number of V's.
There's quite a few V's in that name.
There's a lot of V's. You know, the game that's a sequence of V's, I don't really think you're going to mistake that for anything else.
Right, yeah.
Anywho.
It's the only one filling that spot on your Steam library, the V category.
Which to make a small aside, if you have Steam and you somehow have never gotten VVVVVV, like, you have a startling talent to not buy that game.
Yeah, it's often extremely affordable.
It's one of those games that, it's like a quarter
right.
on a Steam sale, and at that point it's like, you're stupid not to buy it,
Definitely.
You might have 14 copies in your Steam library, but hey.
Or like if you ever bought a Humble Bundle, pretty much, like it's been included many a time.
Every Humble Bundle, I think it's a rule.
Yeah. It's definitely a prolific, and it's one of those indie, scene sort of touchstone games, and so you can see how, there would be, it's a little homage to it,
So, anywho, actually for Hex F here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This game is, like we said, this is Flappy Bird meets the V game.
Yeah.
And it's an infinite runner / gravity. It's not a runner. It's an infinite gravity alterer.
Yes.
And you go onto a screen, and there's just a really quick gravity puzzle that you have to solve with, changing what ceiling, if you're stick to the ceiling or you stick to the floor.
Which is the mechanic of V. Screen. That's the mechanic of V.
Yeah.
V.
And the game rates you on how many screens you clear.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get hit once, you are done, and you go back to the start.
Yeah. So it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yes, it is hard.
It's a hard game.
It is very frustrating. This is a game that I think at best I maybe got a minute of playtime without dying.
Of continuous, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started to memorize the maps, and so eventually I sort of I did reach a place where it's it's hard to. It's this tribute game, so it's hard to it's like that mechanic is awesome, so it's cool to have that just play that mechanic in a kind of a different light.
Yeah, and it is very fun, but like I said, this isn't necessarily the kind of game you can put time into.
Right. Yeah, totally. But it it's if you're into that sort of sadistic level of challenging, timing based gameplay, then this is definitely something to scratch that itch. But
so yeah, check out a sequence of Fs.
Yes.
If you like Flappy Bird and or VVVVVVV.